on the topic for today, mindset reconfiguration, the critical role of Agric in national development. Put your hands together and let's welcome Alhaji Mohammed Mashud.
Good morning, class. I'm so privileged to be here, share some few experience, and then have some discussions with you. I'll say I'm not just coming to lecture, but also to learn from you, because agriculture, as Mr. Eugene said, is a very broad area. I may know a bit, and you guys do something better than I do. So I'm just coming to share what I know, and then you also tell me what you know. Then I also learn from you. Well, I am Alhaji Mohammed Mashud. I am a teacher by profession and a farmer. I taught at a primary school for almost 20 years. I started teaching in 2001. And then I ventured into farming in 2009. So farming is an interesting area, but unfortunately, there is so much misconception, especially about agriculture in our country. Why will I say there's so much misconception? People think that agriculture is an area for graduates or graduates who did not get job in the formal sector. But unfortunately, I hold a different view. It's not so. And like when all of us were in junior high schools or junior levels, they taught us that agriculture is just production of crops and rearing of animals for human consumption. Of which I say, no, I don't think it's so. Agricultural is the integration of all for human survival on earth. Everything you do, agriculture plays a role in it. So, for someone to just limit us to rearing or production of crops and rearing of animals for human consumption falls very short of what agricultural is, because agriculture goes beyond that. So in this Alice topic, I will try to have a discussion, Alice, on the slides I've just prepared, but very small. And then, Alice, when I'm done, I also take what I'm going to learn from you people too, and then we'll discuss it together. But just to throw more light on how I started agriculture. In 2009, I thought of doing something in addition to what I was doing as a teacher. Then, I decided that let me do rice farming. So I went and rented 4-acre land for rice cultivation. So I went to do something small on the 4-acre land. Unfortunately on my part, after the season, I had almost 60 bags of rice. 100 kg bags on the field. So I saw that, no, what I was doing, after selling this, selling some, about 50 bags, I saw that maybe for teaching for 6 months, I couldn't even get the money I had. I said, no, then it means this adventure, I had wrong perception about. Because I thought by then, just like what so many people will think today. Now, well, you don't have any means, then you venture into agriculture. So I then started rethinking over what I thought before. Because I thought I was just going to do it just to feed my family. But I saw that I was getting extra income from it. That was in 2009. I'm only 29 years old. So I started, then the following year I went back again and did the same thing. Then I had even better yields than the previous year. Then I said, no, let me move a step further. That was in 2011. Then I moved a step further by cultivating maize and soybean. And then I added guinea fowl to what I was doing. Because then I had extra income, so I could do more. So then I started improving. And currently, as I speak, on crop production alone, I do over 5,000 acres. From 4 acres in 2009, just 15 years down the line, I was able to, I am now doing over 4,000 acres of rice, maize, soybean, cowpea, and groundnuts. So I saw that no. And as I'm just talking, there are so many people, especially even people in influential position. They say agriculture is meant for the illiterates, the aged, people who don't know what to do. I think it's not true. Agriculture is meant for people who are educated, people who know what they are doing, and people who really study and know their left from their right, not the illiterate. Because as I ventured into agriculture, I saw that the area is demanding and you need to learn, or you need to know how to read and write, and even calibrations. Especially people who are engineers here can explain it better than I do, because agriculture is too scientific, and it's supposed to be for people who can really read or who can critically think about things, but not for people. That's why you see that in Africa, you can see that we are still suffering from ages up to date, because we, the graduates from school, the very critical things, we leave it for people who doesn't know deep like we know. Okay, so I'll just go through some of the slides. You see, in this slide, I'm just talking of the mindsets of people. That is the cultivation of crops and rearing of animals for human consumption. Like all of us know from schools, where they said we are just agriculture is just rearing or cultivation of crops and rearing of animals for human consumption. And then the basic tools were hoes, cutlasses for cultivation at home. And then people have the mind that agriculture is not profitable, even no investment in agriculture by government and other donor agencies. The belief or attitude that agriculture is a punishment, like all of us know, especially when we're in school. When you do anything wrong, they will tell you that I'll let you weed. And then we will send you to the farm to weed. You weed around. And then all of us had the mind that once you are weeding, you are breaking your back. It's a punishment. And then we came out with that mindset. Anybody in agriculture is one way or the other punishing himself. But currently, as we speak, agriculture is the integration of crops. That is tree crops, production, and then rearing of animals, that is poultry, and then livestock, and aquaculture production for human survival, like I said initially. We integrate all these things for human survival on Earth. Because there's a saying that when the last tree dies, then the last human being too dies. So it means agriculture encompasses everything, and agriculture is what we can depend on for our survival on this Earth. And this diagram shows how agriculture is sophisticated. In agriculture, you need to organize very well. Like I said, it's too scientific. Agriculture is very scientific. Soil management is key. Crop health and protection. You can't just do anything just for doing sake. You just come, especially as I walked in here, I saw that they were watering the plants or the flowers around to make the place beautiful. So it means that they need to take care of the crop health and protection. And again, agriculture is modern day agriculture encourages pollution control, especially byproduct management. For instance, in agriculture, what we normally do is that we apply fertilizer and then chemicals in everything we are doing. All these things, we need to take care of them. That's why I said agriculture is not meant for people who are not educated. Agriculture is for the youth and people who are educated. And then we talk of animal husbandry. That's what I said. All these things are integrated together for our survival on Earth. And then energy efficiency. At least as we go on, some of these things I'll be explaining it. And then water management systems. You can see that they are watering crops around here. And then we are not just watering, but we are calculating each and every plant, what it needs for survival as a plant. And again, we are talking of landscape and nature conservation. For instance, you see on this campus, so much landscaping, and then what we should do here, what we should do for beautification and other things. And then agriculture entails community engagement. So like I said, there are other prominent people who are of the view that agriculture, or if you want to be very successful in the next 10 years, you venture into agriculture. And I think I am already a living testimony to that. Because starting from 4 acres and then doing over 4,000 acres and other things in addition, at least I know I am on course. And I'm moving towards maybe what the prominent people are saying agriculture, especially in Ghana. They say in Africa as a whole, because they are saying it's only Africa which has not realized the green. Many Africans still think that importing food is very good for Africa, but no. If others can do, why can't we do it in Africa? For instance, Ghana is using almost $432 million to import frozen chicken or frozen products for us to consume in Ghana. So assuming if we, the youth, could even tap in and then reduce the imports by only 20%, it means we are making almost $83 or $86 million for ourselves in a year. And at least I know if we are making $86 million as youth, it's not going to be small. So the president of African Development Bank once said, the size of food and agribusiness in Ghana, in Africa, will reach $1 trillion So if if you are thinking of how to make money, that is the sector to be. He made this statement emphasizing that if you really want to be rich or if you want to make money, it means that you have to venture into agriculture in the next years to come. And in this case, just to throw more light again on what agriculture can do for us. Agriculture is no more the hoe and the atlases work. There are modern technologies for agriculture, like the use of drones, adoption of modern harvesters, planters, and then, like I said, crop nutrition. We have fertilizers and chemicals to crop nutrition in our farming practices. So currently, agriculture is no more the use of hoe and cutlasses, especially if you are doing modern day agriculture or you are doing large-scale agriculture or commercial farming, as we may term it. We are going to, there are drones now, automated tractors where you don't even need any human being to sit on the tractor and plow or harrow or level a land for you. Or there are planters for that automated tractors. There are harvesters where you don't even need even human being to sit on it. You just program it like the engineers may know what I am talking about. And then there are boom sprayers, multiple, and so forth. There are so many machines or modern day equipment which we can use currently without breaking our backs as so many people. You see that we are using tractors for work on the farm, on our farms up north. And again, agricultural, there are conducive environments for agriculture as we speak now. There are interventions by government, especially we have PFJ, Planting for Food and Jobs, which government has launched in 2017. There are interventions for youth like us or beginners to tap in. And then there are other partners, development partners like African Development Bank, USAID, and so on and so forth, who support young people in farming. So, before we came in here, I was discussing with Mr. Eugene that there are so many things the youth don't even fish out for information as to how we can start something. All the time, we talk of, how do I start? How do I start? But instead of us to even move to department and agencies, to even find the interventions or government interventions, we can also leverage to move or to take advantage of. And then the critical role of agriculture and nation development, we can talk of employment, agricultural, if government or if we take agriculture as a profession, it will create so many employment for us. Agriculture can play a very vital role in national security because when there is food and we are not hungry, I don't think it will not be, it will help in preventing people from engaging in violence. Agriculture can serve as our nutritional needs in the country, national identity, agrotourism, and agriculture drives industrialization. Because if there's no agric, industries will not get raw materials to produce. And then you see that that's what we are just struggling with currently in Ghana. No raw materials to feed our industries. If I am going to sites I will use soybean as an example. Currently, almost all the feed mills in the country, all soybean processing companies are down. They have shut down because no raw material for them to process. So that you see that Ghana, our poultry industry is going down almost every year. That is why you see that government is using so much money to import frozen chicken for us to consume in the country. And if, like I said, our nutritional needs, if all these things were driving very well, I don't think we would have imported so much of the imported chicken for us to feed ourselves. And then if agriculture is taken seriously, and so much foreign exchange from it, so important we would have been producing here again, and the excess we can export for, and then we so in fact, basically, this is just what I will say, and then I will put up this particular documentary for us to see what we are doing on our fields and what other people, especially in people who are not even in Ghana, what they came and then they saw in our fields and what the stories they shared with us. So I just put up this documentary for us to go, for us to watch. Basically, the documentary is just about our activities on our farms, especially talking of modernizing agriculture currently in the country. Many people think it's not possible, but we are doing it. And then if you go anywhere and then you begin to talk of modernization of agriculture, people think it is somewhere or elsewhere it's possible, but in Ghana, it's not possible. For instance, we had interaction with other people, especially from Argentina and Brazil, who came, and then we had partnership with them on conservation agriculture. So that's what we wanted to play for you to see what is happening in our country, and then how we, the youth, especially graduates from big schools like this, can also take advantage of agriculture, and then we'll transform our country. So at this juncture, I'll just halt, and then if there are questions, and then or any other thing someone wants to add, then we'll then begin to discuss on that. If I understand you right, you said, why don't we invest so much in what we need instead of the cash crops? If that's the question. Okay. Now, you see, in this video, we are talking of, or what I'm just talking about is that we are focusing on what Ghana needs. For instance, Ghana needs soybean, we need maize, we need rice for our survival in the country. So we are saying that if we focus on these things, for instance, soybean and maize will boost our poultry industry. Instead of us to be using $432 billion to import frozen food into the country to eat, if we focus on what the poultry industry need, it means that we'll cut down that aspect of using $432 million to import frozen chicken. It means when we are importing, we are giving other people jobs, then we are starving ourselves here. So our focus as farmers, we are focusing on what Ghana really needs, not the cash crops. Because over the years, you see that Ghana is talking of cash crop, especially cocoa and then cashew. But we are now focusing on crops we need for our survival in the country. And I hope maybe, are you okay with it? Okay. So, because soybean is not just a cash crop, but we need it so much in the country. Because soybean is for animal feed, fish feeding, and other things. Soya milk and other things we need. So we are focusing on soybean in the country. for us to power our industries to produce for our people, and then the excess we will export. And coming to the second question, the land is so vast that urbanization cannot catch up with us. It will be very difficult. Because where we are doing all this farming, especially commercial agriculture, it is far away from the urban centers. For instance, like my farm, you take 3 hours before you get there. 3 hours drive before you get to my farm. So for you to talk of urbanization or catching up with us, so whereby we cut down the plantations, no, it is virtually impossible. And what we are doing is this. Like I said in my presentation, I was saying that we are thinking of conservation agric so much. So whereby the farms, we can live with the farms without any problem. Even if there is urbanization, we will leave the portions we are using to produce food to be there, and then we also continue with our activities, side by side with it. So there's no threat at all.
All right. Any other questions? There was a hand there.
Okay, my name is Agric. Now, my first question is, you mentioned the fact that you are a teacher, first of all, before a farmer. So you have another side occupation aside your farming when you started. So how about an individual who wants to venture into agriculture but does not have any other side occupation, and as he starts, he loses interest, how is he going to catch up? He doesn't have any external source of income. And then secondly, you mentioned that there are equipment and other things that can be used to facilitate agriculture, like drones and other machinery. Fine. How about the average farmer somewhere who has just started that wants to do that steel farming like what you are talking about, but does not have access to all these materials and doesn't know how he can get those incentives?
The first question is, you need to have something before you start farming. Not entirely the case. I was a farmer, all right. I was a teacher, all right. But you see, in any case, agriculture is so vast. You can position yourself. Let me just use I'm from the north, so I'll be using most examples will be from the north. You know, we have this local base, which we term as organic base, local hen. You see, as someone who is beginning, you can raise your own capital through your own efforts. You see, if teaching was good, I don't think I would have ventured anywhere. Or if it was okay for me, I don't think I would have ventured anywhere. I would have stayed there. I'm not saying teaching entirely, but if what I was doing by then was very good for me, I would have stayed there entirely. You understand? So you need to start somewhere before you get to wherever you want to get to. For instance, you can start with a local bed, which is not all that costly. You start from that place, and then you graduate a bit to wherever you want to get to. And to the question of whether some of the equipment we are using is locally manufactured, yes. For instance, our maize shellers, some of the threshers are locally sourced or are locally made within the country. And then we are expecting that engineers, like modern day engineers, will come out with locally made drones. So whereby we can use it for precision agriculture. Yes. So, and you see, as a farmer, you don't need to have almost all the equipment. Like me, I don't have all the equipment, but I have some, and I rent some from others. So you leverage on each other to grow. For instance, if you are a farmer, if you decide to do farming, and then I'm with you, definitely I'll rent my tractors to you. And what we do is support like my company. We support almost 26,000 outgrowers under our scheme. What we do for them is that we give them plowing services, we give them improved seeds, we give them fertilizers, and then harvest for them. They only need to own a land. And then we do that for 3 or 4 years for the farmer to stand on his own. Or then, if again he applies again, we consider him for 2 years again for him to continue. So it is not that if you want to start farming, you should have everything. No. It's not possible because the investment in agriculture is huge. And again, policies are being put in place. For instance, government is setting up AMSECs, agricultural mechanization centers, in almost every district. I don't know in the south, but I know in the northern region, setting up agricultural mechanization service centers in almost all districts in the north. So whereby if you are a young farmer, you can just apply to the mechanization center, and then they will offer the services to you, either on credit, and then you pay in kind, or after harvest you pay in cash. So all those things are interventions successive governments have done, and then they are still doing it. And again, other private operators like us, we are also, with so many agricultural machinery, we also offer such services to other young farmers who wants to go seriously into commercial farming. Hello, silent.
Okay. So I'd like to ask, what input has the government made with regards to fishing in Ghana?
Okay, so I'll start with Madam's question. Well, I am not to talk about government policies, but we are talking of what we can do, especially someone like me who started a little in 2009 till now. Fishing is what we are doing. Fishing seriously as our company. We are providing, especially female farmers, with mobile ponds. We provide them with mobile ponds and fingerlings, and then we train them on how to produce fish. But we do it integrated. If you are to raise fish, it means you have to do vegetable farming as well. So, fish, the water we use, especially in our mobile ponds, is very fertile. So we encourage that you have at least some 10 or 20 beds of vegetables. Whenever you are going to draw the water off, you use it to water your vegetable. So, and that one is focused on young people and then women in the north. So we provide you with mobile ponds. You can just put it in your house. It's not that you should have a big land or just behind your house. You use it. We connect water from your house, and then that's the water you'll be using for the fish farming. So fish farming too is also part of what we are doing. But especially the documentary or what I just prepared was just something scanty, unless to make room for the interaction section. But we do fish farming too, and we encourage people to do tilapia and then catfish. So it's also there. If I get you right, you are saying that why don't you study our clients and then do what we can do? That's what you said. Yes. You see, I'm talking of conservation agriculture. Currently, you see that, especially in the northern region, we used to have rains from somewhere May till November, and then the rains will go off. Currently, for the past 4 or 5 years, we get our first rains even in February. And from February till March, we don't have enough rains. And then even from March to May, even if you plant anything, you have problems with it. So we study all these things before we come out with the methods of farming we are doing. And again, that's why we are encouraging that we should focus on what Ghana needs and what we can do best. For instance, in Ghana, we can produce so much maize, so much rice, because we have deep valleys. We can produce so much rice, so much maize, so much soybean, vegetables, and other things. So we are encouraging people to rather take up that angle. For instance, about 10 years back, somewhere 2008 to 2010, there was a program of mango plantation in the north. All the mangoes we planted those periods doesn't bear fruit at all. So you see that we didn't study well, and then we ventured into that aspect, and then we wasted a lot of time, and then we never had anything. But currently, we are just focusing on what we can do, especially even in tree crop. We are talking of cashew in the north. We are talking of dawa trees, share trees, which naturally are already thriving very well in that area. So we are focused on that. And up in the south here, they are focusing on coconut and other crops which are thriving very well here. And as much as we are producing to feed our country, we are thinking of what can we do, or the excess. What we feed on, the excess, what do we do with it? We export it for foreign exchange. So that's currently what we are encouraging everybody or anybody who wants to venture into farming to do. And again, let me emphasize again, we are not talking of only farming on the field. The agricultural or the agribusiness is too broad. We are talking of farming, we're talking of marketing. So anywhere you fit yourself, you are in agribusiness. And then we are into processing. For instance, we produce a lot of broiler. That's the meat we eat, chicken we eat. We produce a lot, and we don't leave it in the north. We have other partners in the around here or in Accra here who come to offtake us. They don't rear anything. They don't rear the broiler, but they offtake from us. And they are also in the agricultural value chain. So what I'm just talking about is that the agricultural value chain, you can produce, you can be a processor, you can be an aggregator or any other thing in the value chain. And there are supports to that effect. It's just that you need to check or you need to find out. Especially, we shouldn't sit in our corners and then say, oh, there is no support, government doesn't support, or we can get support. African Development Bank, USAID, there are so many development partners who are interested in agriculture. So as young as we are, we leverage on those supports and then we start up what we can do for ourselves.
I know that it's large and you don't work alone. How do you manage the people that you work with? And for instance, how do you prevent them to steal the product?
Good day, and I want to ask, how do you manage your irrigation with the crops? The irrigation, like the watering, and do you depend mainly on the rain or you have another source which will help you to farm either all year round or at
Okay. All right. So these two questions. So let me finish with it. With what Madam just asked, in my company we have 51 permanent staff, and then all of them receive salary at the end of the month. And with regards to stealing, we are living in a society where you can't just prevent stealing, or you can't say stealing is zero. Even if you are not stealing, you assume that at least something is happening. But you have to manage it very well. So my staff, we have permanent security who are on the farm, and they don't compromise on anything. And with crop nutrition and other things, everything we are doing on the farm, because we are talking of over 4,000 acres of land, we are fully mechanized. From planting to fertilizer application to weed control, pest control, to harvesting, everything is mechanized. So for instance, if we are harvesting, it's not that we harvest and the combine will be traveling long distances to discharge. There's always a truck following it. When it is full, the truck brings it to and someone is monitoring everything. So on stealing, we make sure it is at a minimum. I can't say it is completely off. And again, we have warehouses. We have warehousing, and there's a warehouse manager who takes stocks all the time. For instance, I'm in Accra currently. Immediately I get back, he's going to update me. The farm manager will update me. Everyone will update me what he's doing. So then I also cross-check and then see what the workshop manager, because they will present it from the farm manager to the workshop manager. So so I'll also check from down to up. So what the workshop manager has given to me, does it go with bills from the tracks? If so, what the presented, does it tally? Then if it tallies, it means what they said. So there's checks, but because of that checks, I can't say it's zero. But we are still making room for improvement. And then the second question, you said irrigation. Yes, you see, irrigation is very expensive because 1 acre land of irrigation, especially if it is going to be drip irrigation. Well, we have different type of irrigation systems. We have the sprinkler, the gravity, and then the drip irrigation, and others. But the scale at which we depend so much on rainfall. That is why I was telling you that, you see, there's that climate shift. The climate condition is affecting everything on Earth. So you need to also study the pattern. So on my company, I have somebody who is in charge for that. He takes statistics of rains from the last 100 years in Ghana up to date. And then he advised, this year, you see that the pattern is going this way. So this year, let's put ourselves this way. For instance, in 2019, we had a particular maize variety. It was called SC719. It was a very long variety, about 170 days. We decided to cultivate it and see. And for the average yield per metric ton was almost 9 metric tons per hectare. So we thought it was a very good variety and then we could use it. But we didn't listen so much to the person in charge for weather. We ignored what he advised and then we planted that seed. And out of 750 acres, we had only 500 bags. So we saw that no, it was not the best. So for irrigation, we encourage, or we are doing small parts, a small thing on irrigation with regards to maize, soya, and then rice. But irrigation, we focus so much on vegetables and then vegetables. That's just what we are focusing so much on. So if the rain doesn't favor us, then we are in trouble. But we've been able to study the weather pattern from the last 100 years in Ghana up to date. And then we are working in consultation with Meteorological Service so much. That's why I said in my presentation that farming is very, very scientific. And then everybody around, especially from weather to soil management and everything, you need to be with him to teach you almost everything in that.
How much of an impact do you think global warming and climate change has had on Agric business?
And it's not every parent that they allow their children to go into agriculture. So, for instance, you personally, if your children they come to you personally for advice to venture into agriculture, are you going to allow them?
That's what I'm telling my children to do. Because all my children, I tell them that they should just come into agriculture. I encourage them to do that, but I'm not forcing them in. It's their choice. If they choose to, I have no problem with that. But if in this hall, if anybody asks me, what work will you advise me to do, I'll tell you agriculture. Anybody, even if the president told me, Mashud, I want to ask you, after being the president, if I retire, what should I do? I'll tell him he should venture into agriculture. So I am, to some extent, I'm very biased when it comes to agriculture. Well, I see that agriculture is almost everything. And with regards to the environment and then the climate change you talked of, that's why we are using a particular system of farming which is called conservation agriculture. So whereby we don't disturb the soil every year. And then we conserve the biomass on the fields all the time to serve as mulch. So whereby there won't be that sunlight hitting the soil. So in that case, we are, even if anything, if you are to go into agriculture, we tell you that even if you stomp your land, it means you are going to clear off trees, which will have negative impact on the environment. What we encourage you to do is that we give you seedlings again, trees, for you to plant along the alleys in your farm. It just means that you are removing and then you replace. And sometimes even the replacement, you replace more trees than even what you even remove. But you plant them in lines. If it happens that maybe the university gives us the chance for you to visit our fields, you see what we are doing there. Well, we make sure that indigenous trees, we don't remove them. And again, we make sure we plant trees along, because all the farms are drive-throughs. So along the roads in the farms, we plant trees along to conserve the environment. And again, whatever we harvest and leave, should I call it the byproducts, the rice stalks, the maize stalks, and other things, what we do is that we make sure we conserve it. We don't allow animals to overgraze. We allow animals to do minimum grazing, and then we conserve all the biomass on the fields and to serve as mulch, and again, the lands as well. So that's our contribution to the climate change.
Merci. And I was wondering, so how does our taste for foreign goods affect you? And if
how does
our taste, we prefer foreign products, yeah, how does it affect you? And if it does, do you have structures in place to tackle it?
If you can repeat for me.
So she's asking, how does the taste for foreign goods by Ghanaians affect you as a local farmer? That's what
like the pathway your produce takes to get to end consumers. Like how does your produce get to end consumers like us? And also we know that processed foods are checked, like they are examined. But like for raw foods, let's say the fruits and vegetables, before they get to the market, are they checked? Are they examined?
When you started to
if you could speak to the mic.
and when you started, you led with the statement, agriculture should not be for but as I look
I don't know whether you got the question.
Yeah, I believe he's asking, going to that scale, maybe it's dangerous, the overuse of fertilizer and other chemicals. That's what you are so concerned about.
Okay.
I hope. Okay. Okay. With the test for foreign foods, especially in our country, well, it's a threat. But if proper education is given, it becomes an advantage for the local farmer. For instance, elsewhere, you see that parboiled rice is, if you are to eat parboiled rice, is costly than what we call white rice or polished rice. So if people are educated, and as we are doing all these things, we are educating people as to why they should eat Ghana-made foods. For instance, broiler or the meat we produce in Ghana and what is brought in. If you eat what is brought in and then you eat what is in Ghana, you never go for the foreign one. Because the foreign one is tasteless, stayed in fridge for long, and then this one is just fresh, and then you can get it. It doesn't matter. So if we are educated proper, it becomes an advantage for us. But you see eating foreign or imported foods just because they don't have access or they can't even get what is produced in Ghana. And thank God, currently, especially rice, much improvement in rice processing in Ghana. Gone are the days where if you want to eat rice or if you want to cook the Ghana rice, you have to wash, remove stones before. Well, currently it's not more so. But there are companies or other processing companies who produce very neat rice. You don't need to remove any stone from it. You also cook direct, and then it is even parboiled. And from what the scientists or what food specialists are telling us, they said parboiled rice is highly nutritious than what we call the polished rice. So they are not all that threats because we sell all right and then we are doing whatever we are doing. There's no year we produce and then we don't have off-takers for our produce. And with regards to my brother's question, where he said, how do we check FDA needs to certify and other things? Yes. For instance, with broiler production and other things we do, with eggs, the eggs we produce, the meat we produce, and then the processed foods. Those ones, we have FDA certified certificates on our products, and then they come time to time to check what we are doing and make sure that it's wholesome before we give it out to the market. And again, the raw foods, for instance, maize and soya bean, we have off-takers in the country. For instance, like EcoFeed and Rockland Farms. We give our maize and soya bean out to them, and they also produce. And I know, definitely, they are also FDA certified.
So he's asking how much money you have.
He's asking?
How much money you have.
Oh. Okay. No, yes, it's something I can't hide. Yes, like I said, agriculture is very profitable. And from the scale, if you do the mathematics yourself, you see that at least from 4 acres to over 4,000 acres. Let's assume even it is 4,000 acres. I don't know, in terms of percentages, the engineers may help, and then the mathematics students may help in that. You see that we have jumped so much. I don't know whether we are calling it a million percentage or any other thing. We have jumped so much. You see, there is, the company is, because it's not for me. I'm not an individual owning everything. It's for my company. And it is owned by so many of us. Even though they are family members, we are in a cluster owning the company. The company was not less than, let me say, not less than 30 million Ghana cedis. Yes, so that's the company was not less than 30 million Ghana cedis. Yes, because you see.
So you see, there's so much money.
Yeah, hello. Because you see, the company is almost into every sphere in agricultural value chain, from seed production to processing. So we are the largest suppliers of bean seed in the country. And we are among the biggest suppliers of rice in the country. And we are supplying almost 70% of cowpea, groundnuts, and then, groundnuts, and then we are supplying almost 70% of these things in terms of seed. And then we produce both foundation seed and then certified seed. And with certified seed, with foundation seed, we produce almost about 60% of the foundation seed up north. And then we give it to outgrowers to do. So we are into so many things. So, and the company is not for me alone. The company is worth over 30 million Ghana cedis. Yes, okay. Because all this we are doing all those things. And then we are the largest producers of soya bean in the country. Now, and we are the largest producers. And then we have the biggest outgrower scheme in the country. Because in 2019, we supported over 30,000 outgrowers in the enclave. And then just 2021, we have supported over 26,000. And from our checks, nobody is doing that apart from our company. And we are not doing it alone. We leverage so much on people. We leverage so much on government policies and programs. And then other development partners, we leverage so much on them. And that's why I keep on emphasizing. As a young man, anything you hear is one way or the other truth. So you have to check. But you don't sit without checking and then outright you say this is not true. Sometimes, for instance, in 2017, when government started with the Planting for Food and Jobs program, our partners or our friends, we told them that it was possible. They said no, it was not possible. We went in, we had so much fertilizers for our farms at a very cheap rate. But someone who was sitting somewhere was saying that no, it was not true. 2018, we went back, we presented our case before government, and then other development partners, they saw that no, it was true. So we had support, and then we continue in that direction. For instance, this fish farming we are talking of, we are talking to so many people. GBC is one of our close working partners. We are going to establish the fish ponds at GBC, so whereby they also produce fish, again produce vegetable for the market. So it is just that you need to, because human being, like they always say, we are not islands. We can't stand on our own, or we can't stand alone. We need to always form partnership and then source for information. If you get the information, definitely you are going to grow. And sometimes they may just need people to even implement a program. But unfortunately, we are sitting and we say, no, it's not possible. It's possible. It's possible. Because I started, I've never picked a loan from any bank. I've never picked a loan from any bank. I started with 4 acres, working alone, employed someone in addition, employed, and then currently we have 51 permanent staff, and then over 1,000 casual workers on our fields. I just pray that one day maybe the university will make it, will give us a chance to come over and then see the work we are doing. Sometimes, even watching it on videos is not even more, it's not interesting. But rather, if you see it practical, it's more interesting. Because even in sheep, we rear sheep. I'm surprised nobody asked any question about ruminants. Yeah, we rear sheep. Currently, in our enclave, we have over 1,000 sheep. And then cattle, we have over 700 cattle. If you come, all of them are practical. You can see them. It's not, like I always say, every platform, I tell people that no, farming is not like a mobile phone where I can just put it in my pocket and tell you that I have a mobile phone. So where you can see. Whatever I tell you is practical, it's visible. You need to, if you come over, you see it. And then it's possible. And like I always say, if you take agriculture seriously, I think Ghana will have 0 unemployment rate. Because it's too vast. It's too vast. Because sometimes we venture into areas just because we don't, not just that we want to venture there, but there to do it for us. So we have to create it again and then do it ourselves. One company can take care of everything. Look at from fertilizer, from seed production, from everything. Mechanization services, production itself, processing, aggregation, and so many things. So all these things, it's not more like what they used to tell us. You just produce, you have some $5 or $10 at the corner of your house, and then you will be feeding on it. Next year, you go back again. Agriculture is scientific, and then it needs people like myself and you to go into it. And our other countries are doing far better than we are doing. And possibly maybe the next generation will do better than what we see, and then we think they are even doing better.
Yes. Thank you so much, Alhaji. We are grateful that you joined us. So, as we do every week, we present something small from the university as a souvenirs, and you go along back to Tamale with it. Where's Doris? Yes, please come and do the presentation for us. Please clap for her. Oh, please clap your hands now. Where's Raja? Please come and do a vote of thanks for us. Please clap for Raja as he comes. When Alhaji was talking, I asked Raja whether he would like to do farming. He said no. Because he's used to buying and selling. That's what his family does. Am I lying? But you forgot to, he said that there's a long value chain. Could have done to tell me that you will produce fertilizer and sell. But you didn't say that.
On behalf of the level 200 students of Academic City University College, I would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the special guest, Alhaji Mohammed Mashud, who took time from his busy schedule to come and provide us with insight and understanding into the agricultural sector. Thank you very much.